All right, I don't know what time it is on your clock, but I know what I'm getting ready for. It is time for the Professional CISO Podcast with David Malaco.
I've got Robert Haldeman in the seat.
We have specifically a dinner/show that's very, I don't want to get sued here, Shark Tank-ish. We call it a nerd event. This is our nerd event.
Absolutely.
It is a tech throwdown. The emerging techs present, and we have judges and people in the audience that drill down on the technology. So a lot of vendors will come in and say, hey, we do this, this, and this. When they come to our event, if they don't know what they're doing, they're gonna have a hard time. And the opposite side of that, if they do know what they're doing and they satisfy the audience, it's a really good event for them.
Love it. What is Pat Benoit working on in his head?
I think of things in terms of left brain, right brain to some degree. And so that left brain is still focused on how do we ask the right questions? I think in cyber and in IT, oftentimes we get caught up in the marketing of the questions that vendors are trying to sell.
Right.
Do we pay the ransom or don't we pay the ransom? Doesn't matter, we protect the same. The exploit, the channel is the same.
Right.
We need to be talking about the resiliency, but then you got to pay attention to the right side of the brain too to be whole. We have to start thinking holistically. We need to think about the emotional IQ, leading with vulnerability, taking ownership of things.
I've got Carol Weaver in the seat. Talk to me about what you guys are talking about.
We're talking about securing a borderless network. I see it from both sides, from the IT and information security side and the risk. And how do we secure that when there is no border? People are working everywhere. They're working hybrid, they're working remote, and they're working on site. So that's where I think we're having to evolve and make sure we have that professional CISO on board in our companies to make sure we have a good strategic direction, a good plan, and that we have a way to protect our data and our business as we move forward to 5 years from now or 10 years from now and transform our business in the way we do business.
I got Maria Scarmardo here. Tell me what you're doing.
I own Praxis Data Security, and we are an outsourced GRC firm. One of the big things that we started doing is that we developed GAS, Governance as a Service. What do I bring? How does that engage it? It depends on where the business is at and what the needs are, but bringing in the entire security program and even providing resources or leads to resources, because we are strictly GRC. We're not trying to be the CISO.
In the chair, I've got John Shin.
The importance of mentorship. Right now, cybersecurity has a lot of open positions, 600,000 jobs right now, yet there's not enough talent pool that can catch up. Two things. One is, how do you make sure that you help mentees? And I call them students. And the second thing is, how does a mentee who's looking for a mentor look for one? And how do you know that's the right one?
We're professionalizing the CISO role, so please subscribe to the Professional CISO Podcast.